A sharp criticism in a work email, a sarcastic comment from a family member during dinner, a gratuitous insult from a stranger on the internet. These words, small and ethereal, have a disproportionate power, don't they? They can lodge themselves in our minds, ruin our day, make us question our own worth. We feel the sting, the heat of anger or shame rising to our face. But why? Why do we give something as insubstantial as another person's opinion the power to destroy our inner peace? What if there was a way not to grow a thick skin, but to forge an intelligent armor, a bulletproof mind that knows how to distinguish noise from signal, poison from truth? Today, on Stoic Punch, we're not going to teach you to ignore the world. We're going to teach you to master it from the inside out. We'll unravel the anatomy of the wound caused by poison words, and more importantly, we'll give you the instruction manual to forge your own stoic armor, piece by piece, until your tranquility becomes unshakable. To build the defense, we first need to understand the attack. Why do insults hurt so much? The first reaction is almost biological. Our primitive brain interprets a social attack, a sign of disrespect, as a threat to our position in the tribe. This can trigger a fight-or-flight response, filling us with adrenaline and reactive emotions before our rational mind can even process what happened. But the real vulnerability is psychological. Poison words find hooks in our minds to latch onto. The first hook is our need for external validation. An insult directly attacks our desire to be accepted and valued. It suggests that, in someone's eyes, we're inadequate, flawed. And that, to our social instinct, is alarming. The second, and most powerful hook, is internal agreement. An insult rarely hurts us deeply unless it touches upon an insecurity we already carry. If someone calls you something you are absolutely sure you are not, you'll probably laugh. But if the criticism targets that exact weak spot you try to hide, that secret fear you have about yourself, then the poison finds an open wound, and the pain is immense. The cost of not having armor is sky high. It's days ruined by a single sentence, hours of mental rumination replaying the scene, loss of confidence, aggressive comebacks we later regret, and, worst of all, handing over control of our emotional state to anyone who decides to throw a few words at us. Enough of being an easy target. It's time to forge the steel. The fundamental principle of your armor is, as always in Stoicism, the dichotomy of control. The words that come out of another person's mouth, the poisonous intention behind them, the judgment they make of you, all of this is completely outside of your control. Trying to change it is fighting a losing battle. Where does your power lie? In your interpretation of those words and in your reaction to them. It is in this space that you are the absolute master, and it is here that we forge each piece of your armor. The first plate of your armor is the rational analysis of the source. Before absorbing any criticism, Epictetus taught, consider who is issuing it. Is the person insulting you an example of wisdom, virtue, and good judgment? Is their opinion on how to live a good life something you respect and admire? If the answer is no, why give weight to their words? It would be like a world-class musician being devastated by the criticism of someone who can barely distinguish musical notes. It's illogical. Ask yourself coolly, is this specific person's approval truly necessary for my journey of becoming a better human being? Most of the time, the answer will set you free. The second plate of your armor is calculated disdain and humor. Seneca argued that the best way to deal with most insults is to simply ignore them or treat them with a slight disdain and humor, as if they were the harmless barking of a small dog. Reacting with anger gives validity and power to the insult. It's a signal to the aggressor that they hit you, that they found a weakness. Serene silence or humor, on the other hand, disarms the offender and demonstrates your unshakable inner strength. Remember the famous Stoic response, adapted from Epictetus. If you are told that someone has spoken ill of you, do not defend yourself. Just reply, "Clearly they were ignorant of my other faults, or they would not have mentioned only these." This attitude not only protects your peace, but also confuses your attacker.
The third, and perhaps wisest plate of your armor is the search for truth. A Stoic is not arrogant. They know they are not perfect and are always seeking growth. Therefore, they use every insult as a potential mirror. After the initial emotion has passed, ask yourself with complete honesty, stripped of the poison, of the aggressive tone, is there a shred of truth in this criticism? If an enemy calls you lazy and deep down you know you have been procrastinating, they haven't given you an insult. They've given you a gift. They've given you free information about a weak point you need to improve. As Marcus Aurelius said, we should love even those who err. Be internally grateful for the information, no matter how flawed the delivery was, and use it to become stronger. Turn the poison into medicine. The fourth and most important plate of your armor is internal reinforcement, the construction of a truly bulletproof mind. The ultimate defense against insults is not external, it's internal. It comes from a strong and unshakable sense of self-worth based on your inner scorecard of virtues. When you know, through daily self-assessment, that you are striving to be a just, courageous, wise, and self-controlled person, the external opinion that contradicts your efforts drastically loses its power. You become the primary judge of your own character. The validation that matters comes from your awareness that you are on the right path, in the arena of life, striving, even if you stumble from time to time. Living with this Stoic armor transforms you, not into someone cold or insensitive, but into someone selectively invulnerable to what doesn't build you up, to what doesn't matter. You achieve true emotional freedom. Your serenity ceases to be a victim of others' words and becomes a fortress built by you. You engage in fewer useless conflicts as you no longer take every bait, and your mental energy, once spent on rumination and anger, is freed up to focus on what truly enriches your life. The pain of an insult is not in the words that are spoken. It's in our permission for them to hurt us. It's in the story we tell ourselves about what those words mean. The Stoic armor is forged with reason, self-knowledge, and an unwavering focus on what we can, in fact, control. Now, it's your turn to go to the forge. What poison word most often affects you? And which plate of this Stoic armor will you start building today to protect yourself? Share your battle plan in the comments. If this guide to bulletproofing your mind gave you new weapons, then smash that like button, subscribe to Stoic Punch to continue strengthening with us, and hit the notification bell. Remember, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Stoicism teaches you to withhold that consent, not out of pride, but out of wisdom. This is Stoic Punch. Forge your armor. Protect your peace.